Bang. Bosh. 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 How we doing? It's a Thursday. Is it the most useless day? What's the most useless day of the week? Thursday, not quite Friday. Friday's great because then it's leading into the weekend. Wanda's been busy with Leah. So I've got a bit of time to kill. Got about an hour to kill. I thought, you know what? I could do a live. I've done a live for ages. Don't do many. Can't be asked. Can't be asked. So I've recorded some videos. How many videos have I recorded today? 2. One out and about on location. And one in the room upstairs. So, yeah, and whilst on location, and you're probably going to guess now where I've been, I've picked up a couple of beers from Thornbridge. I can't remember the last beer I actually reviewed. I can now. No. Yeah. So yeah, I can't actually remember the last Thornbridge. I can now. It was Jaipur. I picked up Jaipur, and I had Jaipur X that was in Morrison's. So yeah, been over to a well-known British supermarket and picked up. They're not new beers by any stretch of the imagination. One of them I know has been in can and is now in bottle, which is what I'm going to have first of all, and then the other one's in the fridge, and they're both £2 a bottle. So I thought, you know, I'm going to pick them up. Oh, this one is Astrid. Now, 2 seconds. I've just got to reply to something. Yeah, so Astrid, which was available. I think it was available in Asda, which is where I picked it up. Originally available in bottle, and they've now put it into a bottle-conditioned, juicy, hazy pale, 3.8%, £2 a bottle. I don't think that's too bad. Riffle, I have that. It might be Riffle Day. Yeah, sorry. It's better than when the correspondent has got a better understanding of the channel than you have, because I've got none. Brad, how are you, mate? Hope you're keeping well. Trilby Phil, the Northern correspondent's in. Hi Limited. Hi is Gareth. Hi Wickham. 2 seconds. Gareth, how you doing, mate? Hope you're keeping well. Home bargains. Sorry, I've been corrected again. You know, I'm not the all-seeing eye. I'm not an oracle. I'm a fat man that sits in his shed, generally talking nonsense about beer. So, yeah, this one interested me. The fact that it's bottle conditioned more than anything, and at £2 a bottle, I'll go and get the other one. I'm not a heathen. Yeah, so 2 beers, and this one is Lord Marples, which is a bottle-conditioned classic bitter, coming at 4%. So 2 beers for £4. Once I've had those beers, I'm going. Yeah, so both have been in the home bargains. I couldn't remember where they've been. I know Astrid had been in can at some point, but don't ever remember seeing it in bottle. Yeah, excuse me, I'll come down with some sort of cough. I know some people would want me to cough, but that's just as it is. Astrid is a modern hazy pale ale packed full of US hops with a heavy focus on mosaic. This results in huge soft berry aromas followed by a wealth of stone fruit character on the palate to create a wonderfully flavorful experience at a low strength, vegan friendly. This bottle contains fresh, I thought it said fresh liver for a second, live beer, the bottle conditioned to create natural carbonation and the flavour you would expect from a pint of cask ale in a pub. Please pour carefully to leave the yeast in the bottle. Yeast is going in. Good to hear. I'm not correcting you, mate. Just saying Astrid was in Cans and Home Bargains. And look, you're all right, mate. Chill out. Don't have a cow. He's getting all uppity now, isn't he? But thank you. I've done an out and about. I might put it out tomorrow. Done a video at Asda today. So I went up to Asda. That's on the A3 for people that know Portsmouth, because there are some new beers into Asda. So I went and did it properly. I went up to the nice security guard and I said to him, "Excuse me, do you know who I am?" He looked at me vacantly. He knew. His name was Scott as well, so we had a little bit of a chuckle about that. And I said to him, "Look, I've got a YouTube channel. You got some new beers. Would it be okay? Hello, mate. If you want to come on, Dean, I've only got 2 light beers. If you want to pop on for an hour, I'm only going to do an hour or so. Send me a message." I said I've got a YouTube channel. You've probably heard of it. It's really famous. You've got some new beers in your range. Would it be okay if I videoed them? If I don't get any of your customers in the video, because I don't want to go in there and sort of just clandestine video. That's not very nice. So he said, "I can't make that call." He said, "But if you go and queue over at customer services," he said, "you have to ask a manager." Well, okay. So I went over and queued at customer services. And then he came over and he said, "I've just had a word with management." They said, "As long as you don't film any of the customers, that's absolutely fine." I thought that was very nice. So I had a wander around Asda and filmed their beer section. That'll probably be out tomorrow. And I've made a video this afternoon, actually, which it's a bit long, but I'm quite pleased with it. It's not a product review. It's not a beer review. It's not a food review. It's something that's slightly different, just helping someone out, really. So yeah, looking forward to that. Anyway, let's get into Astrid. Anybody had this? Is anybody there? So I'm looking forward to this. Actually, I do like I'm not going to say Northern Monk, Thornbridge beer. Be careful till you leave the yeast in the bottom. Fuck that. It's all going in, mate. Will do. Where we get a Boris Johnson head. You're welcome. Very pale. Very pale. Like, just a second. Didn't. So very pale. They're saying stone fruits. It's very muted. It's not raging. It's not raging. It's a very muted. I get more sort of like grapefruit and pineapple rather than sort of they're saying stone fruits and berries, and obviously it's got mosaic in it. I'm not picking it up. I'm just getting grapefruit, mainly grapefruit. Cheers. Oh, I'm faffing about with my new barbecue rotisserie chicken. Git. Sounds nice. Well, where did I get to? Oh, I don't bloody know. I'm absolutely useless for this. Moo. Dino. Hello, David. Gareth. I'm sure it was Gareth, wasn't it? I don't want to get people's name wrong. That's a bit rude. Yeah, Gareth. Visited Bristol Beer Factory recently. A new Bristol brewery, because I was over there clubbing. I thought I'd check out their tap room before throwing a few shades. When we went to Bristol, hello Adrian, I've just seen you pop in the chat, buddy. How are you doing? Yeah, when we went to Bristol. We went to Left-Handed Giant, and there's a pub around the corner from there that Barry Hodges recommended. I can't remember. I can't for the life of me remember um, the name of it. Is it Small Bar? It's Small Bar in Bristol. Liked it in there. Um, Left-Handed Giant, very good. I've reviewed that. Talking about Bristol Beer Factory, I reviewed. Fat man talking about beer. I talked about their West Coast IPA. Just conversing with my wife. And that was very nice. There's another West Coast IPA actually that's dropped into Asda from one of the big boy breweries up north. Not a new beer; it's been around a little while. That's reviewed. Reviewed. Spoke about that. I don't know when that'll be out. Saturday, Sunday, something like that. So there are a few. You got that. What was the one that's in Sainsbury's? From fuck me. So Wasted Reverb or something. That was very good. It's nice to see we're finally getting some decent West Coast IPAs instead of the nonsense of just constant New England hazy pale ales and hazy IPA. So it's nice to see there's a little bit of a trend of new stuff popping in as well. Throwing shapes. I could show you a video, but I'm not going to. That's quite nice. Actually, it's quite refreshing. Astrid. I'm assuming it's going to be better in bottle than it is in the can. If it's bottle conditioned, I can't see any. Oh, there is some sediment in there. Not a massive amount, but yeah, it's nice. Adrian, I'm on Astrid. These are in now into Asda, and then I've only picked up two. I'm going to do two. I have two, and then I'm probably going to bugger off and have something to eat. And Lord Marples, which is a bottle conditioned classic bitter. Saw them in Asda when I was in there the other day. I thought I'll pop them over and get them. I'm not expecting a huge amount of people in on a Thursday. It's not a traditional drinking day. So, yeah, we'll see what's going on. I'm hopping in and out cooking dinner. In and out of the kitchen. That's very dangerous. It's a very subtle taste. I would agree with that. It's a very subtle aroma. And very subtle tasting. It's quite thin. In the sunshine, there is a nice bitterness on the back end, but I think in the sunshine, if we ever get any, I think that'd be quite nice. I don't mind that. I'd give that a solid 12 out of 450. Adrian, hope you're keeping well, bud. What we supping? Yeah, I've got these two. What? Anybody else having a drink? Anybody sort of starting a bit early? Thornbridge Lucas I had last night, which is a Pilsner in Hydrum in Wickham. What we had, Lucas? That's in a purple. Is that in a purple can, Lucas? I'm sure I've had Lucas. Trouble is, we haven't got a bottle shop in Portsmouth anymore. Maybe I should walk to the kitchen and not hop. I did think that as well. Get you on the bitters. It was cheap. So they've got about I counted up. They've got about 8, 9, or let's 8, 9. It's over 9 new beers into Aldi, into Asda, certainly into my Asda that I haven't seen before. So there's can't give it away. I'm telling you, watch a video. But yeah, they had these two that caught my eye, and I thought, you know what, I haven't had a Thornbridge beer in bloody ages, so I thought it'd be quite nice. We're eating our tea while watching. Actually, it's putting us off. Well, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it put you off? A fat, ugly bastard talking nonsense. There you go. With my partner in crime, he's asleep. He tried. I recorded a video upstairs in the back bedroom, and he kept trying to butt in, and yeah, that was quite funny. I had to edit some of it out. At least he hasn't shit anywhere today. But yeah, it's I don't know. So he wanders out for an hour. So I thought I'd just pop on, see if anybody's around and wanted to chat. I think someone said Brock Bradley. Someone put my bloody teeth back in. I've only had 2 sips of a beer, so as if I was shit faced. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, like some. So is anybody actually drinking it? Have you had any of these, Dean? Have you had Lord Marples or Astrid? I didn't look at any. I don't like looking at any reviews in case it sort of sways me. Not Patrick sways me. He's a dancer. Essentially, using Mosaic is a very. If they haven't used a lot of Mosaic because it's not coming through hugely. So I'm just getting mainly grapefruit and pineapple, really. Which is not really what I usually get from Mosaic. It is nice. It's nice. And obviously at 3.8%, you can have 34 of them and not pass out. Cheers, Phil. £2 a bottle. Yeah, that's reasonable, isn't it? I don't think that's so bad. Would I buy any more? I don't think it's on the 4 for 3. I don't think it's on the 4 for 3 in Asda. 4 for £8. I don't know. About that. Maybe it's a starter beer for me. I think it'd be one and done, and then I'd move off and have something else. But it's quite pleasant at 3.8%. It's not offensive. There's no off flavors in it. I'd be interested to know if it was better in bottle than in can. Anyway, each their own. Yes, had Marples. I liked it. So what does Marples say? Not Miss Marple. Lord Marples. Bottle conditioned classic bitter. This was £2 as well. Lord Marples was the first ever Thornbridge beer brewed in. Is it fucking really? Lord Marples was the first ever Thornbridge beer. Never knew that. Brewed in 2005 and named after a well-known detective. Oh no, named after Mr. Marples, an aspiring former owner of the Thornbridge Hall. It pours an attractive mahogany, bringing forth flavours of honey and caramel, with just a light bitterness in the finish to keep it balanced. This bottle contains fresh live beer. Oh, it's the same bit. Brewed and bottled at Thornbridge, Riverside Brewery, Bakewell. Not in. Someone said it was in fucking Yorkshire. Yeah. Oh, fuck me, Sandy's the fucking hooligan. I've blocked you, mate. You're gone. Excuse me. Seem to have developed a horrendous cough. It's either COVID or cancer. Jaipur is a pretty damned good beer. You get it in Spoon's Pub sometimes. Supermarkets do it in cans and bottles. Jaipur, one of the old daddy, granddad beers, changed a bit over the years as Jaipur. And actually, Jaipur X, I think it was Jaipur X, was probably more the Jaipur of yesteryear, but still a pretty decent beer. in all honesty. Don't see it in pubs down here very often. So as you say, spoons sometimes get it. Actually picked up, I know Dean picked it up as well, the Citra T90. I mean, they caned me on price because everywhere in the country seems to be £3.20, and mine was a fiver. I mean, at least if you're going to rob me, put a bloody mask on when you're having to go out. Marples is the better of the two. I'll be the fucking judge of that, mate. You'd be telling me. What size bottles? They're 500ml bottles, mate. Ooh, 500. Yeah, 500ml bottles for £2. I don't think you can go wrong. Well, I don't know. I haven't had the other one yet. I've only got yours and Dean's word for it that they're any good. And to be fair, I don't trust either of you. Obviously, I trust Dean because Dean's the best beer reviewer on YouTube. Yeah, it could be anybody. Anybody. You thought bloody Reading was close to Godalming. It's about an hour and a quarter. Anyway, I'm going to crack a couple of them Aldi beers later. You know, the new one brewed with Seven Brothers. Do you know what? I've seen them. I've seen them. They've got a couple, haven't they? And something stops me picking them up, Brad. One a watermelon. There's one a watermelon beer as well. Yeah, I don't go to Aldi. I might start. The only reason I don't go to Aldi is I don't like their till system, where you've got to be like a fucking baseball catcher to catch the shit as it's rushing past your head. But now they've got the self-service checkouts around there. I'm more inclined to go in there because you have to go in with all the padding, or you come out injured. Because I don't pick a great deal up in Aldi. But yeah, let me know. Send me a message on. Can't say WhatsApp. People take offence. Send me a message on any messaging service that you require and you have. It'd be WhatsApp to tell me what you think of it. David, the Northern correspondent, has sent me a photo. Please bear with me. Well, that's not very nice, is it? A bit fucking rude, isn't it? How dare he? How dare he? How rude. I'm particularly offended. Particularly offended by this. That'd be bum. Thornbridge, I've got a bit of a dodgy reputation. I might have to read this out, or I'm going to get myself in trouble. The main man's missus had this outfit called A for E, Action for Employment. Emma Harrison is her name, and she made lots of money off the taxpayer. Obviously, I'm just reading out a comment. Please don't sue me. Well, if you're going to sue me, I can get £4.50. So you crack on. I didn't know that. To be fair, how do I put this without getting myself into quite a lot of trouble? Quite a murky world brewing in certain areas, I've found out in the last few weeks. I know some people. I know a few people within the industry, and some of the stuff that I've learned actually shocked me. So, if that was true, and I'm not saying it is or isn't, it wouldn't surprise me. When are we going to mate? So tomorrow. I'm in Great Ormond Street. I'll take Leah and Wanda to Great Ormond Street tomorrow, so I'm tied up. Saturday, we're off to London for the day, me and Wanda. We've got a brewery tour booked. And there's something else going on Saturday. So this weekend's going to be out, mate. And to be fair, I haven't picked the beer up. Can we do it next Sunday if you're available, or in the week? If you're available in the week, I'll get the beers within the week and we'll sort something out. But I'll message you on a communication device that isn't possibly shared, because we don't share things because people get the tits on. But yeah, we'll get it done, mate. And to be fair, I've not forgotten about it. I've just had a really, really sort of busy at work. I've taken the day off today to do bits and pieces, and yeah, all good. Hawkwind, how are you? What was a Hawkwind song? Sing it. Can't play it because I demonetize. Hawkwind. Oh, God, fuck. 8 times I've tried to spell Hawkwind. Hawkwind. Broadband's playing up. So you're getting, get that free. I think Dean will say this as well. Actually, they're a bit like Brewdog, Thornbridge. You know when you're having a Thornbridge beer, they got a certain sort of taste of whether it's the water, whether it's the yeast, whether it's their house yeast strain. I don't know, but they do have a very distinctive flavour profile. Thornbridge. That's not to say it's bad, but I think it's one of those beers that you would be able to pick out of a lineup if you were blindfolded or dead. Drive past Pomona Island, Seven Brothers most days. Never had a Seven Brothers. Seven Brothers, I've had a couple of. They did some birthday beers, and one of them was it was called Peanut Butter on a Jaffa Cake, which was a stout, which was really, really nice. And they did a whole series of weird and wonderful beers for their birthday. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. Mine plays tricks on me. I've had a couple of their beers, Seven Brothers. The honeycomb pale ale, not the one that went into the supermarket, which was rancid. They did one from the brewery itself during lockdown. That was okay. And I think they've got honeycomb stout in one of the supermarkets as well at the moment. I'll speak as I find. I've never had a problem with them. So I've had about 3 or 4, and they've always been pretty good, to be fair. Allegedly, I've probably said something. I don't like to upset people. Yeah, Salford has got some good beer breweries. I worked with some Salford lads. They were mad as hatters. Well, around there, sort of the Manchester area, isn't it? So you got like the fucking likes of the bloody the Gallagher brothers that are off their head. Who else is up there? Is Ian Brown and all that? Are they from all up there? Up sort of oh, fucking hell, I don't care. Not about music. I'm a bit weird like that. I know what I know, and I don't know what I don't know. Well, it's like everybody really, isn't it? Seven Brothers beers. I've not had one I liked. That's interesting. I think they're quite adjunct heavy, from what I've seen, which I don't mind. But I've just got a bit fed up. That Northern Monk beer the other night, the ice cream pale ale was. I don't know what's going on with Northern Monk. One of the most solid. Excuse me, just for 2 seconds. You don't want to hear me snort. One of the most solid breweries in the UK, and some of their beers lately have been dreadful. That Rocket Lolly beer that was in Sainsbury's was absolute shite. That ice cream pale ale that they've just put into into Morrison's is utter shite. They've got a couple. I know they've got another one in Asda, one of the twist ranges on Faith. That should be okay because I don't think it's got any adjuncts in it. I know they've got another one in Morrison's, but I really don't know. I hope and pray that Northern Monk don't disappear down the same alleyway that Tiny Rebel are currently in, because that would be an absolute travesty if that happened. Silver Machine. Checking. It was Silver Machine. It's just the first one that came up to me. First one that came up, to be fair. Silver Machine with Lemmy on vocals. So They've got this Motorhead beer in Asda. I can't get it. I've tried a couple of times, so I'll pick that up whenever I can. David Thompson, up here, the one that stuck his fingers up at me. He sends me a lot of stuff that I don't keep an eye on really anymore. Wanda does a little bit behind the scenes, and we do odds and sods these days. And I do what I want to do. I do new beers because it upsets people. Seven Brothers was stocked at the time in Asda a couple of years back. Yeah, I like their beers. It might have been association too because they're working with Mad Salford Geezers in Maidenhead. I've been in Maidenhead actually a couple of weeks back. Don't work too far from Maidenhead. Reading, Slough, Windsor, all around that area. Aldershot, early, not late, early. So yeah, Maidenhead. That's a place. Loving track brewing. I think I made a comment on the video recorded earlier. I don't think I've ever had a track beer. I might be wrong. I might have had one at the Brewer's Tap. Obviously, not everything that I drink I feel the need to turn the camera on for. So we do when we go out. There's beers that I drink. I don't even put them on Untapped because I forget about that half the bloody time. I put a few of them on. I put a few when we went to the Awakening Festival on Saturday. The ones that oh, excuse me. The ones I tried at the Awakening, which was really good. If you've got any beer festivals that are near you that are local to you and you can find the money and support them, please do. We can, as I said in Awakening by Fallen Acorn, who've sadly gone. They went to into liquidation quite recently down by us, which is very, very sad because I've got some friends that work for Fallen Acorn. They contact a guy called Tim, who's the manager of Awakening, contacted me and asked me if I could help out with the promotion, which is where, I don't know if you saw the video for Awakening. I did a little a little sort of promotion video for their festival, and they ended up selling out. I'm not taking any credit for it. I didn't take any money for it either. It's nice to help out if I can. So if you've got any, we can all go to these big festivals like Brew London and London Craft Beer Festival and the Great British Beer Festival and the Manchester Beer Festival and the Bristol Beer Festival. And if they're your local beer festival, then all well and good. But if you have one that's close as well, then you've got some money and you can afford to go and support them, then please do, because we're losing breweries hand over fist at the moment. Some of it is their own fault. Some of these breweries haven't helped themselves, but also there's some decent run breweries that are going to the wall through no fault of their own as well. Yeah, I can't find. I'm not that fussed, mate. I've picked up the couple that I wanted to do. There's another West Coast coming out that I've talked about. That'll be out over the weekend, I would think. I don't feel the need to pick up all the beers now. I certainly don't feel the need to review them all in the same video. I'll put them out as and when, really. Changing the subject slightly, you can change it. You're a moderator and a friend and a supporter of our channel. What are you saying? Have you played the new Star Wars? Don't get me started on the fucking Star Wars game because I will lose my shit immediately. No. Currently playing through the first one. Get annoyed now. I played through Fallen Order, loved Fallen Order, wanted to get what's it called, Survivor, but I've only got PS4 and it's not available, so you have to have a PS5 with the latest Xbox, and I think that is robbery. I think it's robbery and the fact that they've excluded a huge portion of their base is incredible. I was talking to Wanda's brother, who's more up in on things like that than me, and he said that it will be coming out at some point. But I just find it incredible that they've not even bothered to release it to the mass of the Xbox and PlayStation fan base. I think it's criminal, Brad, to be fair. Marcus, how are you? Fallen Acorn only went once and would have loved to go again. Even caught a little ferry to get there. Yeah, bloody ferry. Me and Wander have been absolutely hammered on that ferry. That ferry is a despicable price as well. £4.80 return, and you have to buy a return. It's just it's the most. I think it's described as the most expensive piece of water either in Europe or in the world. Because it's crazy. It takes you about 30 seconds to get across the bloody thing, and it's like £4. So me and Wanda go, it's £9.60 for the two of us, and it's just criminal. But we have had some absolutely some fantastic nights at Fallen Acorn. Had some very, very good beers. A stiff-faced their oatmeal stout was Wanda's particular favourite. My favourite from them was probably their West Coast IPA called fucking hell. It was a green can. Bugger. It was called Fallen Acorn West Coast IPA. A Wave of Light, which was phenomenal. And what I liked about Fallen Acorn Brewery was it had a traditional backbone, so they were still brewing traditional old style keg beers, cask beers, Wholehearted, Pompey Royal, some absolute joyful beers, but along that they had the modern craft beer arm as well, which was fantastic, and it came as a bit. We heard about a week before the announcement. I'd heard a little rumor that they were going, and it came as a bit of a shock, in all honesty, because they appeared to be a really well-run brewery. I can't go into the reasons behind because that's not for me to say, but it'd be sad. It's sad. Hopefully their recipes and their IP will be bought out by somebody, and maybe they can continue brewing their beer. But I agree, Mark. Fantastic. See a video on Brew London this year. It looked tiny compared. To be fair, I didn't watch any Brew London. I don't know if there was any videos on it. Someone told me that said it was about half the size of it that it normally was, which I think when you're paying, is it 30 quid a ticket, something like that? I think you got an expectation. And if you went last year and you paid the same or slightly more this year, and you're not, and obviously we've got a lot of breweries gone. I did hear that the breweries that were showcasing their beers this year weren't nearly as many as last year, and a lot of the big names were obviously Brewed by Numbers have gone into self-administration. You've got Brick have gone into administration or liquidation. I can't remember what they've done. But it's just constant at the moment. So I wasn't surprised that it was smaller, but if I'm paying £30 just to get in, that doesn't include a beer, I'd have an expectation of what I was getting from that. A Thornbridge cacao mint stout. I've had two, again in Hydra and High Wycombe, which seems to regularly sell their beers. That was an interesting beer. So mint chocolate stout should work. You've got Cocoa Wonderland, which is one of Wanda's favourites. That's in Morrison's. That's a cracking stout. She has done one of her little reviews of is it Cacao? The chocolate stout that's in Lidl. I keep forgetting to release it. That was very nice as well. I think that's a watered down version of Cocoa Wonderland, if in all honesty. But that was pretty decent for £1.79. So Thornbridge, they're steady. They're not the best beers in the world, but they're not the worst. Obviously, they've got a high tradition in this country. That's quite nice, actually, that Astrid. That's annoying. They've got the new Xbox, but it should be on. It's not, because I looked on the day of release. Thought I'll have a look how much it is, and then I'll buy it so Wanda can't eat for the rest of the week. And I was like, well, where is it? And I had to Google the fact that it's not actually available on PS4 or the older Xbox systems, which just is I think it's ridiculous. And why would you, in the biggest game of the year, probably, why would you restrict your sales? I mean, I'm guessing it's probably the power of the machines, but there's been plenty of games over the years that have been stripped down slightly to play on a slightly weaker system. And let's be honest, the PS4 and the old Xboxes, they're not exactly weak systems, are they? I just didn't think it made any business sense at all, mate, to be fair. I've got to say, I like Tiny Rebel beers. Without offending you, Gareth, I can't remember the last decent Tiny Rebel beer I had. Sadly, and I do mean this, sadly, they have lost their way as a brewery. Very adjunct heavy. I was going to pick up those new was it the ale range, and didn't. And then I saw Barry from All the Beer No Idea. Hi, Barry. He did them, and he said they were all shit. And they're just for me, they've lost the plot. I don't think they know where they are anymore. Reliant on additives, adjuncts, and flavorings, where hops, yeast, and malt can do an equally as good job. But if you like them, what's your favourite Tiny Rebel beer? My favourite Tiny Rebel beer I've ever had would probably be, I like their Red Ale Kutch. That's a nice beer. And their porter, Stay Puffed. Can't believe Brew by Numbers is going. I don't know if they're going. I know they've gone into administration. I know they're selling off the Bermondsey site and moving everything over to the Greenwich brew part. And I know they were looking for investment. So I think it's a tactical move, shall we call it, before it goes bust. Because it would be very, very sad, because from a personal point of view, we went to the London Craft Beer Christmas Market up in Brick Lane, and they were very good to us, Brew by Numbers, as a team, and I've always liked their beer. I don't think I've ever picked up a Brew by Numbers beer that hasn't been well made and does what it says and what I'm expecting. If I see a Brew by Numbers beer in a tap room, 99 times out of 10, I will probably try it, because I know I'm going to get a decent, well-made beer. And there are a few breweries now, when you look at that either on the can, in the fridge, or up on the wall and it's on tap, and you second guess. And I don't do that with Brew by Numbers. So I'm hoping they can stave this off, mate. I really am. Nicholas Lindsay, hi Scott. Hope the family all well, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah, all good here. Off to Great Ormond Street tomorrow to have Leah checked out. Me and Wanda are off to London to a brewery tour on Saturday. Not telling you where we're going. Some people might try to stab me. And then I want to try and get over. This is gonna, if the Pondering Man sees this, he'll have an absolute shit fit. But I want to get over to the Waterloo to see the Brewdog bar. I'm going to video it. I'm going to put it on YouTube so you can have a fucking aneurysm. So yeah, yeah, I haven't had that much beer this week. I did 2 beer talkabouts last night. They're not reviews. I'm not a fucking reviewer. Anybody that calls herself a beer reviewer was shooting. So yeah, it's nice. I tell you what, the Astrid's nice. So I'll get onto this one. want to try this. Lord Marple. I've had this beer open for almost an hour. That's got to be a record. Gareth says, we had a brewery in Wickham called Fisher's Brewery. A lot of people thought their beers were piss poor, but I thought they were okay. And a few got good reviews on Rate Beer. I've never used Rate Beer. I'm going to be honest. I don't use. I'm on Scott and Wanda's World's on Untapped, but I just had a message come through on WhatsApp. I shouldn't say that. Don't share WhatsApp. Mark the Pondering Man's obviously watching because he's absolutely aghast about what I just said. Fisher's Brewery, never heard of them. G'day, mate. Thank you ever so much for popping on and sending me your two fingers, you shouts. Yeah, Brew by Numbers in trouble. That's unbelievable. Some of the ones that are going or that are in trouble. Some of them come as a surprise. Some of them don't. Right, number 2. Right, this one is Lord Marples, not Miss Marples. Take care, David. Rebellion Brewery in Marlow. Where's Marlow? Is that in Essex? Anywhere north of about, well, Portsmouth, really. I'm struggling, but yeah. Right, this is best, but don't do a lot of best bitter. Not really my style. Don't mind the best bitter, just don't drink a lot of them. Right, that's me wrong then. Told you I wasn't very good, didn't I? Wasn't lying. Oh, better show you. I don't want to open it on the screen because people get upset. I think I'm not pouring it out properly. Get it all in. In my staggeringly good glass. I'm not saying it's a staggeringly good glass. It says staggeringly good on it. That looks nice. It looks like mahogany chestnut colour. One finger head, as my mate would say. Can't really swirl it around because it's all to the top. There's a nice nuttiness to that. Slight honey. Smells all right. Cheers. £2 in Asda. Nice bitterness on the end. That honey actually follows through on the flavour. There's a sort of slight nuttiness in there as well. That's not bad, actually. That's very nice. What did they say was in it? Caramel. Got honey. I ain't got no problem with that. That's a nice beer. £2 well spent, that is. Near Wickham. On the Thames, yeah, I was nowhere near that. I went to Windsor and Eton Brewery not long ago. That was all right. Didn't buy anything from there. I've had a couple of beers from there. I haven't been that impressed. Was it Treason? And there was something else. There was Treason, a West Coast IPA. Wasn't a fan of it. Rebellion do some good beers. I preferred our own fishery. You keep going on about this bloody fishery brew, and I can't get any beers from them. Must say, Staggeringly Good is an incredible brewery. Always ordering their beers when they're on Trembling Madness. So they're just up the road from us. They got a new beer out today. Can't remember. It's called Staggeringly. Can't remember. It's called Staggeringly Decent. And it is Staggeringly Decent double IPA, 8.5%. and they've teamed up with pretty decent brewing company. I don't think I've ever had anything from them that I can remember. So, and it's got in it Galaxy, Idaho 7 Strata, so it should be extremely nice. I actually haven't been to Stag Really Good for quite some time. No other reason than we like going. They don't particularly cater for Wanda at the tap room, so a lot of their beers are sours, IPAs, double IPAs, etc., etc., etc. And obviously, Wanda likes a stout, so we have to go to places that caters for Wanda. So we go to the Brewer's Tap, which is the subsidiary arm of the South Sea Brewing Company, and because they always got something in the fridge that Wanda can have. And also we've got a fairly new tap room just outside Portsmouth called the Portcullis Tap House, and got quite friendly with the owner, a man called Phil, and we're going to go do a video with him at some point, which should be quite interesting because he's got a wealth of knowledge, knows a lot of people. So we want to try and get that done as quickly as we can, really, because he's a nice guy, very welcoming up there as well. So yeah, look out for that one. Slightly nuttiness to that. You on about the drink or the person drinking it? Shithouse. I do wish Wanda would do more. I get why she doesn't. She doesn't like the shit that comes along with it. She's largely done with a lot of YouTube now, which is fair enough. I just miss her reactions. I miss her personality in the videos because I think she brings more to this than I ever will. I've tried to open up a little bit about more of my personality than just sit and talk about beer, because I think there's a fucking multitude of beer reviewers, some good, some bad, some taking it very seriously, some don't want to swear in case they bring the wrong people, which actually they barred me from their live streams for. And yeah, I just want to bring a bit more of me to the beer reviews, and that's why I call them the bullshit beer reviews. Who am I to tell you whether a beer is good or not and take it seriously? I'll leave that to the boys' club. Oi, Cocoa Wonderland is fantastic. Can we wish my good friend Brett? It's his birthday today, so if we could all sing happy birthday. I don't even sing that in the chat, but it's his birthday today, so if you could all wish him a happy birthday. He's also tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. He's got a live stream going over on his channel. Very kindly invited me on. Depending on what time we get back from Great Ormond Street, I might pop on for half an hour. Can't guarantee either way. But Brett, hope you're having a good day, mate. Don't get too wasted. And if you're live tomorrow night, don't fall asleep. All good here, buddy. Did I hear Brecon Brewing has folded? I've had their beers and they were fine. It's very sad when breweries close. That Steam Train one or whatever it is, Wiltshire, mate. There's loads. There's something like. I think it's close to 100 now that have gone in just over a year, and it'll just continue. It's going to continue. I think there are reasons behind that. I don't think some breweries have helped themselves. So this is my take on it. Okay. And I'll be very honest, this is just my opinion. So we all know as a craft beer drinker that we're going to have the piss taken out of us. So we know a beer that £8, let's say £8, isn't necessarily £8. The markup on that is extraordinary in some cases. Some of the breweries have taken advantage of that over the years and charged us exorbitant prices for mediocre beer, should we call it, and been making money upon money upon money during the craft beer boom. Obviously, the price of everything has gone up, and I mean everything. So detergents, stuff that you would never believe, and with that, the margin for actually making money is coming like that. So where they were making a lot of money and rolling along quite nicely, they're now not making that money, and a lot of businesses are beginning to struggle. That's my take on what's happening. That's not every business by any stretch of the imagination, but there are some out there that I do know have been run like that. But it's still sad when you've got a brewery that you like. And we've had a fair few now that have gone. There are others that I thought would go before certain breweries. Boxstein Brewery, cool designs on their bottles, decent beer too. It's a shame. I miss Wanda. They're always the best reviews. No. Do you know what? I take no offence to that. I try and inject a little bit of humour into them. I'm not taking it too seriously. I said I'll leave other channels to do that. I'm not interested. Our channel was never built on serious beer reviews. And the one guy saying that I want to be a YouTube millionaire, mate, I've got a proper job. I could go into it. I'm not going to. Yeah, I agree. Wanda's character in the beer reviews has always been brilliant, and I miss her. I do my best. She's not going to review stouts. She's not going to review IPAs. She's not going to review things like that. Occasionally, I reckon I'll be able to pull her in for a stout. And at the end of the day, we built a channel. It's a bit fraudulent, really. Built a channel as the two of us. There's the two of us, and it's sort of become the one of us. And I miss her. What was the one I did the other week where she was in the back? It was a crisp review or something, and she was. I don't know if it's come out, but she was sort of trying not to be in camera. You can see her sort of crawling through the background. I'll do what I can. Love how honest you are and genuine. Keep it. Thank you very much. There's no point being. If you've got no credibility, look, and I don't call myself a reviewer. Who am I to sit and tell you, oh, that's fucking brilliant. Oh, yeah, 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I'm a fat man that sits in a shed. I've got a proper job that pays the bills. This is a bit of fun, and I think certain people forget that and take it all very seriously. Don't swear or anything like that. And I just think, I'm just going to be me. If you don't like me, that's absolutely fine. I don't really care. Don't care. I'm just going to continue to be me. And if people want to come along for the ride, they just get me. And they'll get Wanda as well. There's no one more honest and genuine than Wanda. And she just beats the shit out of me. with and I'll come in and she'll say, what have you said that for then? And I'm like, what? I said, well, I've been listening. I'm like, what are you listening for? So yeah, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. I appreciate anybody that watches. If you've subbed, unsubbed, and that's why I say, if you like the video, like it. If you don't like it, I don't care. It's not going to upset me. I get about two or three thumbs downs most videos. I could make a stab at who those people are. They think it upsets me. Oh, get a life. Funny. No, all jokes aside, the pair of you bounce off each other in the old beer review. I miss them. Yeah, I miss them. They've just released Salt Beers Alpaca IPA into Asda. Now, for people that don't know, Alpaca was originally in Sainsbury's. I think it was Sainsbury's or sure it's Sainsbury's. And if you've not seen it, go type in salt. I'll show you. I'll put it in the chat. Because me and Wanda have an almighty great Barney. Sorry about that. Have an almighty great Barney at the end of the video. I had to cut it. I had to cut the video because she genuinely thought Salt Beer Factory alpaca. She genuinely thought there was alpaca or an alpaca in the beer, and we had an almighty argument, and I had to cut it and put it in there. So if you get a chance and you haven't seen it, it's worth about 5-6 minutes of your time. Go and watch it because it's unbelievable, Jeff. Right, we've got Club Tropicana is a tiny rebel beer I like. I don't mind. I don't like calling it that. Oh no, you called it the right one. Was it called Club Tropica now? On it because they threatened to get sued by Wham. Sued by Wham over a fucking beer name. We've got a man. He's dead. Unbelievable. I don't get it. It's just nonsense. Just a beer name. It's not going to upset anyone, is it? It's like all the stuff with the celebration stuff over Christmas with Vocation. Mars, why'd you nick him? You're not going to lose any money. If anything, it's going to send people your way. Mike Ward. Blimey. Hey, mate, how are you? Well, just smashing down a satin pattern by Polly's Brew. Mike Ward were you on The Voice, Mike? Or I'm sure you're over on The Voice or one of them. And I know you've we had a little bit of to and fro on Twitter. I left Twitter because of we were getting all sorts of horrible shit, and I don't need it anymore. I'd actually quite like to get you on, Mike, because I know you're a craft beer fan. I know you like your craft beer. The fact that you're drinking Polly's is testament to that. So if you're interested, then get in contact, mate. But thank you so much. Hope you're keeping well. Always very polite and pleasant with us. So hope you're keeping well, buddy. The alpaca. If you've not seen alpaca, where Wanda genuinely thinks that there is alpaca fur in the beer, and she's not having any of it. And then she has a go at me for shouting at her. Would I buy Lord Marples again? I think I probably would. Yeah, I think I probably would. That's nice. I'd say £2 a bottle. They're all pretty good, to be fair. Windsor and Eton Brewery, okay. I like Conqueror and their Czech Pilsner. The rest I'm not too keen on. But okay, so I've been to their brewery. I was working around that area. Literally down, because they're in an industrial estate called. It's called. Oh, bloody hell. It's caused me all sorts of problems at work. Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, it's in the industrial estate, and you can actually see the castle from the brewery. So I've had treason, which I wasn't a massive fan of, and I've got a feeling something else. I've done something. I've had something. I'm sure I picked 2 beers up. They had a couple of beers in Waitrose, which I wasn't a massive fan of, to be honest. Wanda's too innocent for her own good. Wanda's just comedy gold. When she's in the mood, Wanda's great. And she's great, but it's great anyway. But some of the things that come out of her mouth are just absolutely incredible. And I say I'm a firm believer that this channel misses her enormously. So hopefully, I'll try and persuade her to do a little bit more here and there. David Tobin, how are you? How are you doing? well, I'm just going for these 2 beers, mate. I'm not going to be around much longer, I don't think. I don't think I'm going to die. I'm just going to end the stream when I've drunk these 2 beers. Yeah, these 2 are in Asda, Astrid and Lord Marples. £2 each. One's a bitter, one's a hazy pale. Both very nice, mate, to be fair. If you've got an Asda and you like those sort of beers, then help yourself, because I think they're okay. But I don't think they're bad at all. And I'm not a massive bitter fan, if I'm honest. It's not. It's a style I used to drink. It's a style I got away from drinking. Grown up. Well, that's not true, is it? Because if you're an old style, like up in the north, that's all you drink is your bitters. But I'm a southerner, down south. So I just drink what's coming out of the sea. What is your favourite beer? Favourite beer? What style or favourite beer? Is it my go-to beer? That's a very broad question. I'm making this hard, don't I? Favourite beer style is West Coast IPA. My favourite beer, if I'm going to drink, if I had a choice to put a beer in front of me now, it would be Oregon Trail by Elusive Brewing, a West Coast IPA, which is phenomenal. He's, for me, what I've had on and off the channel, the best West Coast IPA I've tried in Britain by a country mile. My cousin's missus used to work part-time doing sales for them. He knows the bosses that there, but fell out with them because he thought they didn't pay her enough. He then boycotted their beer. Sorry to hear that, to be fair. It doesn't anybody that treats their employees like that, not a massive fan of. But I'm good. I've had 2 or 3 of their beers. I've not been impressed with them. That's me, shot by the king. Hello, mate. How are things? I'm all right, John. How are you keeping, buddy? Yeah, just chill out, mate. Chill out. Got to go. Got Hugo over there. He's fast asleep, so that's always. He ate my bracelet this morning. That was nice, wasn't it? So he knew he was in the shit. City treble. What do you think? I don't know if I've got a picture of him. Yeah, here's a picture. So he knew he was in the trouble. Look. He sat behind a bench hiding. Didn't they thump Real Madrid 4-0 something last night? It might be. Well, they're going to win the league because Arsenal, they chuffed it, didn't they? I don't know. Are they still in their FA Cup? I don't know. They're divorced now, so they started drinking their beers. That's fucking brilliant. My favourite style at the moment is brown ale. My brewery I help out with doing an amazing one. Another local brewery, Boston Brewing company, do one as well. Who are you working for now, Brett? I can remember you saying that you were starting to help out, but I can't for the life of me remember who it was. Well, I do have a brain like a sieve. When you've been through divorce, as I'm sure Gareth will attest to, he'll tell you as well. Yeah, brown ales. Isn't it funny how everyone's got a different style of beer that they like? I've really got into my Weiss beers. I really like a decent Hefeweiss. And I got to a stage where IPAs were making me sort of gassy and sort of give a bit of reflux. So I thought, well, I'll try something different. I started drinking sort of Franziskaner and Schneider Weiss, and I meant to review it, but I drank it. Weihenstephaner, and just absolutely love them. I think they're fantastic. But I mean, and the price of them as well, it makes a mockery of the amount of money that we pay for absolute shit beer sometimes. Yeah, I work bi-weekly serving the cask beer. Pretty good. all power to you, mate, and say happy birthday. That's nice, actually. Yeah, I like that. Can't believe that was their first ever beer. I would have thought it'd been something like George Purr or something, not Lord Marples. Astrid, that was nice as well. Both decent beers. So both available on Asda now. £2 a bottle, 500ml bottles as well. So you can't really go wrong. My profile pic was from one of their events because I can tell I was drinking at 8.4% chocolate orange stout all day. I like a chocolate orange stout, but I do find sometimes that the orange comes across as quite sort of soapy and sort of artificial. And I can't say I've ever had a properly decent chocolate orange stout without having something to moan about. That Seven Brothers peanut butter and a Jaffa cake was all right, I think. Mr. Cannon, how are you, mate? How you doing? How's things? How's life? How's it treating you? Is anybody having a beer? Anybody drinking anything this evening? Or is it just me? Evening, Scott. Here we go. About 4 minutes before we start fucking mentioning chippy trips. We're in London on Saturday. Wonder if we could sneak a chippy trips in if I speak to her nicely. Even so, where's the boss? Cannot hear no squeaking. He's over there. He's asleep. Don't wake him. And Wanda is doing something. Can't be any more specific than that. Glass of Baileys with ice. Well, someone's being very posh, aren't they, Sid? I don't mind. The trouble with Baileys is because it's like wine. I'm not a wine drinker. Has anybody watched Gary Barlow? Blue Van Man's what's it called? Video on Gary Barlow wine. So he drinks wine like he drinks a beer. And I'm exactly the same. I don't have the capacity to change how I drink. So we get a wine, smash it, gone, fucked it off. And it's like, oh no, you're supposed to sip it. What do you mean sip it? What's the point? And I'm not the same. There's a couple of times I've had like Baileys. Knock that back. Fucking next one, pint, please. It's like, we've got a pint of Baileys. Yep. And it's like, I've got no concept of actually how you drink these things. It's beyond me. I'll meet you Saturday. Right. Let me just see. I don't know where I'm going. I can't tell you exactly where I'm going. I'm going to be in the area of I think we're going to Hackney. We're going to Hackney, Adrian. That's all I can say. Send me an email, scottandwanda@yahoo.com. Would you say Oregon Trail is better than Sierra Nevada? Oh, fucking hell. Hang on a minute. I've lost the comment. It goes off my screen. Would you say Oregon Trail is better than Sierra Nevada's Torpedo Extra IPA? I'm going to drink a beer. Hang on. Different ABVs. So Oregon Trail's 5.8. Torpedo is either 7.2 or 7.4. So slightly different in ABV and character. I would... Oh, you put me on the spot, aren't you? I can't go against Torpedo. Torpedo is... And actually, me and Dean did that back in July when Dean came down. I'm sure it was July. Late last year. It was later. It was later than July. What was it this year? I fucking remember. Torpedo is a fantastic beer, and you're Daniel. You've hit me straight between the eyes. Yeah, for me, Torpedo is an absolute classic, along with Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. You've got me, got me banged to rights. I'd forgotten about Torpedo. I haven't got a bottle, but I've got the bottle out in the shed because me and Dean did a little joint. I hate the word review. Talk about Torpedo, because it was one of the beers that actually got me interested in beer, and it was because I was a huge Stone Cold Steve Austin fan, and he used to talk about Sierra Nevada Torpedo all the time, and I was like, what is this beer? So I picked it. It used to be available in M&S and Waitrose, and I picked it up, and that, along with Punk IPA, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and Life and Death by Vocation, were the beers that changed the way, changed how I went looking for beer. So, absolutely, I would pick Torpedo over Oregon Trail every day of the week. Yeah, we're in Hackney, Adrian. So send us an email, scottandwanda@yahoo.com, and if we're available too, then come have a beer with me, mate. Got a fridge full of cheap beer from Christmas. Just no interest in it from Home Bargains. I think Home Bargains don't help themselves, because I do know they've had this in two 330ml bottles. They've had that in 330ml bottles. They do get some really, really good beers into their range, but sadly, it's also topped up with a load of shit. I was very sad, actually, to hear the Donkey Stone had gone, because although I've absolutely massacred Donkey Stone Brewing's beers over the last 18 months, 2 years, I've had fun with it. I've had fun. I hope, I'm sure it hasn't. Hope that my caning their beers hasn't detrimented their brand. But I have had, whenever I saw a Donkey Stone beer, I would pick it up for shits and giggles, and just thinking that one day they might do something I actually really like. They never did. But yeah, it was sad. It was a sad day. And I used to like walking into Home Bargains or a Lidl and seeing a Donkey Stone, because it used to make me smile. I'm drinking Evian, so I'm drinking with you. Evani, I thought you said Evian. Dare I say that I have just cracked a San Miguel? You drink whatever you want, mate. All my homebrew equipment is in storage whilst we have some work done at the house. You drink what you want, mate. I've still got 2 Carlins in the fridge after that bloody through the nitro surge. I'm not touching them. I love this beer site. One of the early ones with Wanda drinking a Vocation brew and seeing her expression on her face was hilarious. First beer we ever did on this channel was Life and Death, and she absolutely hated it. She hated beer, actually. All beer, without prejudice. Hated it all. And slowly but surely, so every beer that she tried, she just turned her nose up and made a funny face, and that's what the channel was built on, in all honesty. And then slowly but surely, she hated stouts, absolutely despised stouts. And then slowly but surely, she began to sort of appreciate a stout, and now she can't keep her away from them. She doesn't drink very often, but if we go down to like the tap room by us, she'll pick a stout out that she fancies, and so it does miss her. Some of her reactions early on were absolutely stupendous, and yeah, it does miss her. Anthony Sanderson from Sheffield. Hello, mate. Have a Hobgoblin Gold. I haven't had Hobgoblin. Vanistar, so I'm just moving down to the next one. Vanistar Industrial Estate. Yeah. I've not had Hobgoblin for ages. I couldn't stand. I wasn't a massive fan of it anyway. And they changed their brand. The Witchwood brand was synonymous. They fucked around with it. But I hope you enjoyed it, mate. Thank you for joining, and I hope you're having a good week. Yeah, Vanistar Industrial Estate. That's a bloody thing. It's caused me a few issues in my work. I should know that, really. 6 is West Coast. I had last year, was fantastic. I love a West Coast IPA. I've done 2 this week. One came out yesterday. One will probably come out whenever. And it's nice to see, with all these juice bomb stuff, a brewery making a decent West Coast IPA. Whether it's a modern West Coast IPA, I know Elusive, one of my favourite breweries, have brewed a West Coast with Siren. It was literally just across the road from them, and they've used some New Zealand hops in it. Now, the traditionalist in me will turn my nose up at that, but I have had a couple of these modern sort of style West Coasts that have used non-traditional US hops, and they've been all right. So I look forward to that. I got tomorrow's my stream keg from HB. So tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Brett's doing a live stream. Please go over and say hello. Show him some love. If you don't subscribe to Brett, then please go and show him support. It's just nice sharing the love around. What I have to say, Vice beer is my favourite style. What's your favourite one? So, Mike, I've just been saying, my favourite style is a West Coast IPA. My go-to style is a Vice beer because I get a little bit refluxy with IPA. To be honest, almost 48. The old fucking kidneys are beginning, the liver is beginning to pack up a little bit now. The innards are beginning to sort of go away, and I can't drink a huge amount of IPA. So I think it was just before Christmas. I wasn't very well at Christmas, and I was all IPA'd out, just done, had enough. And then started drinking Franz's Kana, Patronus, Schneider Weiss, Weihenstephaner, all of these wonderful beers, and an easy price as well, Mike, as well. And they didn't repeat on me. And I thought, do you know what? I'm loving these. So if I go into a bar or a pub and I see like Weihenstephaner on tap or anything like that, I'm on it. I think they're fantastic. How about yourself? What's your favourite one? Scrolling back the comments and watching you on Warp Speed 2 to catch 2 beers in. Yeah, I've got about, what's that? I've only got a little mouth. About 2 mouthfuls. A well-made Westie is fantastic. I also like a juice boy. I like a decent New England IPA or a hazy IPA and the juice bombs. I like all that. I just got a bit fed up of them. And because they were prevalent everywhere, and it was the complete lack of West Coast. It was like the breweries weren't trying a lot of the time. They just wanted to produce this mass market of juice bombs. Understandably, that's where the money's going to go. But yeah, so when I saw a West Coast, I would naturally be on it. I've had some absolute shockers as well, and I'm sure you have as well, mate. But there are some fantastic ones out there as well. Nice to know the current Twitcher is watching. Must check him out. Has had to unsub him to keep him happy. I'm not subbed to Mark. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not subbed to him. He doesn't want a sub, so I haven't subbed to him. I do watch him, and I speak to Mark privately. We've had some to and fro. He mentioned the thing about the McDonald's. We've had some to and fro about McDonald's. We've had some to and fro about Brewdog. We've had some to and fro about a lot of things. Mark has the right to say what he thinks. I have the right, as does everybody else, to challenge Mark with what he thinks. surely that's how the world works. He said things that I could throw all my toys out of the pram over. I don't. I choose not to because I'm a grown up. And yeah, me and Mark are mates. I don't feel the need to. Don't feel the need to. Don't feel the need to get involved. He can say what he wants. I don't really care as long as he's not nasty about Wanda, and he never would be. It's all fair. I've been watching. I'll tell you what I've been watching a lot of. What is driving Wanda absolutely bananas. If anybody watch a guy called DJ Audits or PJ Audits or UK Tyrant, UK Meet the Tyrants. So all these people, they go around, so they film in public areas, they film businesses, and then they stick their drone up and they film the business over it. And the amount of, a bit like Charlie Veach, is it Charlie Veach, something like that. And they just cause absolute havoc. And I've been watching it. I've stumbled across all this. I'm late to the game on this auditing, I think they call it, and it's incredible. The fact that the police can't do anything. I said, I wonder, I wanted to start a channel over it. It's not happening. I like all types of beer. I couldn't get along with sours. I struggle with sours, in all honesty. I do try. It's not my favourite style. I try. Staggeringly good, do some good Vault City. Obviously, the masters of the sour beer. But yeah, just for me, I don't mind a sour on a hot day, but I can't session them. I like maybe one. The best sour I've ever had was, I think I've said this on another live stream, was one that it pricked my interest, and it was a lemon meringue. Was it a fried egg and lemon meringue sour from Playbrew? Obviously, like the sweets, a fried egg and lemon meringue, and it pricked my interest, and I thought I'll try that. So I bought it. Wanda had gone to the toilet. We were in our local tap room bar place, and she came back. She said, "What you got?" And I said, "Smell that." She went, "What is it?" I said, "Just smell it." And she said, "You got that sour?" I went, "Yeah, smell it." So she smells it. She's like, "Oh, it smells like rotten eggs." I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "But it tastes fantastic," and it was lovely. It was really refreshing. So I do try with sours, and I've tried. There was one I did. Me and Dean took a look at while we were at Staggeringly Good. I like, what's this? I like a ginger beer recently, as long as it's not from Marks and Spencer's. Terrible. Tatty Water got congratulations, you're a winner. What the fucking hell? Who's a winner? My winner. What have I won? Dead ex-wife. My favourite beer right now is Titanic Plum Porter. Titanic beers are among my favourite. Also, I like good milds. Vale Black Swan. I have had the Titanic Plum Porter. I bought it for Wanda. She didn't like it. So, in the interests of being a nice husband, I finished it for her. Scott, you need to try some sours from Boone, mate. They're proper. I don't mind a lambic sour. I like a lambic. I like a saison. The like the really shitty sours. They'll change your mind about these gimmicky ones. I shall have a look. Thank you very much. I'm out of beer. I was only going to do an hour. I've done an hour and a half. Time to go. Don't make sure Hugo's all right. He's very quiet. When he's quiet, he's up to something. So I'm going to cut the stream. Thank you ever so much, everybody that's joined me. Really appreciated it. It wasn't sort of something that was planned. Boone Crike. I've tried Boone. I've tried the Boone Crike. There's a cherry one and is there a black currant one as well? Wanda liked that, and she had the cherry one. Nice. They're in the paper wraps. I have had them. Proper lambic style beers. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I have tried them. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to shoot off. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all the interaction. Obviously, without the interaction, it makes my job not a job, is it? A fucking job, sat here talking to you. Not a job. Job's going out and working. Remember that. Anyway, thank you very much for joining. Have a great weekend. There's some videos coming up the rest of the week, over the weekend. Well, I've recorded a few bits and pieces today. Stay safe, drink some good beer, be kind to each other, and I see you soon.